another night, another blowout for the NBA. Guys don't show up in big games. Guys out there going through the motions. It's a sad product, folks. It's a sad product. You still trying to convince me that these guys make this kind of money? Really? You still are trying to convince me these guys are making this kind of money? You're not going to convince me, folks. Players or people, athletes, whatever you want to say that make this kind of money, especially your star players, they really make this kind of money. But they wouldn't show up to work, especially in a big game. Giannis, in penny time, Dame time, you can't be serious. These guys don't show up. Last night against OKC, a big game. And they had already beat OKC in the in-season tournament, right? So this was a good time for them to roll into OKC and give OKC the business. Really. It was time for them to give OKC the business and show them that this was not fake. This wasn't just an in-season tournament. We real. We about that life. Folks, they wasn't about that life. And it's an embarrassment. It looks like, most of their team sat out. Where the hell is their team at? If you told me like maybe Dame was out or Giannis was out, just one of those guys, that's unacceptable. But for like 3-4 guys to be out their starting lineup, that's a mockery, folks. This NBA does not care about competitive basketball anymore at a high level. All they care about is headlines. And we're not talking about headlines of greatness. We're talking about headlines of doing things wrong. A trigger. Yeah, we're going to have trigger headlines where people are upset. That's what's going to keep our NBA going around. I mean, I've never seen this before from any sport. This league is paying their players all this money off of what? It's not greatness. I just keep trying to figure this out? Because I guess nobody else can do this with me for some reason. How are these guys getting paid this kind of money not to be great? Well, because you have idiot fans. I don't know what's wrong with the people today, but some of these people are idiots growing up. You talk to these LeBron fans, and they're idiots. No fan base could be more idiotic. I put up yesterday that LeBron James had played with 13 Hall of Famers. And the guy said something about, look who he had to play in the finals. Michael Jordan played no competition. He played no competition. Okay, let's say he didn't play no competition, right? So the Mavs wasn't a super team. Well, let's go back, right? All his super teams from 2011 all the way until 2018, or my fault, 20. We said this yesterday. The Mavs was not a super team, right? In fact, what's his name? Dirk Nowitzki had to play against a super team in 2006. Did he cry? Did he complain? Did he go build a super team? No. So 2011, the Mavs had to play LeBron's super team. 2012, Kevin Durant and OKC, who all came out the draft and did it right, had to play LeBron's super team. 2013, the Spurs, not a super team, these guys were drafted, had to play LeBron's super team. 2014, an even older Spurs team, had to play LeBron's super team. Okay? Don't tell me about no injuries. Oh, they were good enough to make it to the damn NBA Finals, and all those teams had to play LeBron's super team in the East. LeBron's teams are always hurt once they get there, and they got to play good competition or great competition. They're suddenly hurt. Okay. 2015, rolling back to the finals. And remember, he's going to the finals. A lot of times that don't even happen when you come together as a super team like that, and you're just coming together trying to learn to play with each other. You don't immediately go to the finals. But again, the era that he played in was so weak that he's back in the finals, 2015, playing a team with no super team. He's playing a team with no super team. Who is that? The Warriors came out of the draft. Why are these teams coming out of the draft? Playing organically. 2016 still plays a team who isn't a super team, but they have to play LeBron's super team. And then 2017, like we said yesterday, oh my God, LeBron has to play Durant in his super team. So he finally has to play a super team. He finally has to play a super team. Although all these players or all these teams, 8 straight years almost, what was it, six straight years, had to play his super team. And I guess you could say, 7? And then we go to 2020. That was a super team. Howard, AD, and LeBron, a super team. A super team in a bubble. So, and they played nobody. These are the LeBron fans. This is the LeBron James competition that Michael Jordan didn't play. It's crazy, folks. I'm just saying, these are the NBA fans today who are idiots. Again, will show up to these arenas and support this trash. And I put something on Sports and Fitness Ranch yesterday when he was talking about, Milwaukee and Giannis and Dame time didn't show up to this game. And I said, more stealing from the fans. These are not real fans. These aren't real refs. This ain't even a real damn NBA. You gotta be kidding me. Really? Yeah, what it was, folks, Giannis and the boys didn't want to take this butt whooping. They didn't want to take this butt whooping. I mean, what's wrong? Take a butt whooping. Or go out there and whoop their butts and show. If we see you in the finals, we done whooped up on you like 2 times. Because that's what they're going to be lacking in size, right? But I don't know if that's going to happen, really. If they get Odu back. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The Spurs get blown off the floor. Look, Victor Wembanyama, he will have all-time great games, and then next game, he don't even show up. These guys don't even show up. They get blown off the court. Look, great teams aren't supposed to get blown out. Supposed to get beat by 10, maybe. 10 points, maybe, right? Most of the time when, you see it's out of reach, the coach will get the good players off the floor for both teams, right? And then here comes the bench warmers. They get on there and that's it. Nope, not in this NBA. You got to stay in there and stat bad. I mean, why? If you wanted stats, you should have got them all damn game. Why wait to the end where you're getting blown off the floor? I said, you can't convince. Look, guys, I don't give a damn if I get 2 views a damn video. You cannot convince me these are real head coaches. You got to be a damn fool if you think these are real head coaches. These head coaches will not allow these type of things. And on top of that, okay, let's say if these are real head coaches, the stuff that they allow would only be to great players that hustle, players that rebound, players that, did everything right, didn't sit out, didn't flop, all these things. You think a coach is going to let his players flop like that? You think they're going to let them sit out? I'm sick of hearing about these players having all this control. And that's what I keep trying to tell you. These aren't real head coaches. But how could these players have control over a league that nobody is watching because of them? How does that make any sense? You destroyed the league because of you, the players. Because of you. So you still have control over a league that you destroyed from the get-go. The players. So so the owners, where's the owners? How does the players who is giving the worst product in NBA history still have control? What? I keep hearing it. Oh, they got so much control. They got so much control. They're still going to get paid if they don't play. They got so. How though? How? I could understand again if this league was doing the damn thing and they were getting good ratings. These guys were showing up to work, and they were competitive, but they were doing other stupid stuff that don't make no sense. On top of it, yes, I could understand them getting away with those things. Right? But this ain't happening. They're not competitive. They don't show up to work. They don't hustle. They don't do anything on a high level that all-time greats did in the past. They're not marketable. Then you can just go on and on and on. So how do they have control of something that's not good? And it just didn't happen this year or last year or 5 years ago. It's been going on for a minute. Again, go retire and go work a job like you and me. That's all they're gonna do. You can't prove to me that these guys make this kind of money. By their actions, all it's proven is that they don't make this kind of money. All their actions, whether it's not showing up to work, not hustling, not being competitive, all saying stupid stuff, all this stuff shows me that they don't make this kind of money. And that they don't give a damn because they don't make this kind of money. Right? Because if you made this kind of money, you wouldn't want to dry it up in the future. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Them having to go to work after they got them making tens of millions and hundreds of millions, that shows me they don't make this kind of money. These guys have to podcast during the season to make money. Does that show me they make this kind of money? What the hell could you make podcasting if you're supposed to be making 40, 50, 60 million a year? So you're trying to tell me you're not working on your overall game? You're not being with your family? You're not resting? You're podcasting to make money? Get out of here, folks. Anthony Edwards don't show up last night to the damn game. Like I said, these guys are so inconsistent, folks. They're inconsistent. This fake wannabe superstar. Like I said, man, some of this, it's no excuse. I'm so sick of it for these guys not to be averaging 30 points a game. Where's it at? How many points is Ja Morant even averaging 30 points a game? Why is it the next Michael Jordan? How come we not averaging 30 points per game? I don't understand. This should be easy. In this era? Wimby, how come you're not averaging 30? Matter of fact, a lot of people's, I thought like last year, right? A lot of cats were putting up 30 points per game. Who the hell's putting up 30 points per game this season? Nobody, right? I think Joker? Huh. I mean, damn, where's all these great scores in this soft, no-touch era? I don't understand it. Right? They told us, oh, this is the greatest scoring era of all time. These guys are scoring like 114 points a game. 114 points a game. And they're superstars. Guess what? They can't even put up 30 points per game, folks. So I guess that means it's a lot of dudes out there getting stats. that shouldn't be getting stats. I mean, this NBA is a complete joke. A complete joke. I mean, sometimes I'll be, at a loss for words, and it's really hard to even think that when you listen to me. I mean, it's so much stuff that I want to say that I'm not saying. I mean, not that I'm holding back, but it's just so much stuff with these guys. You just can't even imagine that these players will do this to the fan base. They have no reason at all. No reason. They have zero reason not to show up to these games. It's a lot of bullish games, and you can be like, "Oh, I'm not playing. We ain't playing them. They done won 11 games this season. They done won 5 games. Okay, sit out in the fourth quarter. Play 6 minutes. Oh man, how you trying to mess up my average?" And that's what it'll tell you, folks. These players ain't playing for nothing but stats. You never heard nothing like that back in the day. Let me check this out. See who's leading the league in points. Oh goodness. Okay, yeah, it's a couple guys. So you got SGA 32 points per game. Greek Freak 31. And Joker, he's 29.5. But these players like this, Victor Wembanyama and Anthony Edwards. I mean, where's their 30-point games? How come they're not leading their team with 30 points? How many games do you think they would have won if Anthony Edwards was capable of putting up 30 points per game consistently? I mean, look how many threes he shoots, right? It should be no problem for this guy to put up 30 points per game easily. Like it ain't nothing, folks. But he's this fake Michael Jordan. Them comparisons is over. But to me, as far as media, they're not saying this anymore. It was just, something for them to sell. Because they have nothing to sell you in this NBA. So, and it was like a hope that they would have a, American face. And, all he had to do was work on his mid-range. That's all he had to do. Work on his mid-range shots. And he couldn't do that. Oh man, I see him in some mid-range. Come on, folks. I'm gonna try to put out this comparison today with LeBron and AD. I don't want to say what it is because people like to steal material on YouTube. They like to steal other people's material on these channels. And look, I'm not one of them guys like, oh man, you can't say what I say, because people hear what people say and they'll make a video off of it. But a lot of people are just cool with other people. Nobody owns the rights to anything. A lot of people teach other people things about sports, or they'll just mention what somebody else said. This is how it is in the YouTube community. So it ain't like beef on that level. But I'm just saying, there's people out there that is literally out there stealing people's work. They'll say something big time, and they'll just take somebody's stuff. That's how it is, folks. So that's about it. It's embarrassing. This league is embarrassing. I don't know what else to say. It's just how can you get exciting? How can you get excited? Oh yeah, the Luka and the AD trade. That's all you got. What is so exciting about that? These Luka's when you really dig into it, really when everything just settles down, and reality starts to kick in. What do you really have there? What is it? A guy who is out of shape, a guy who don't come to work, A guy who plays in the soft, weak era, a no-touch era, a guy who gets 9 rebounds a game, and there's no big man to battle. I'm serious. Look at the Cavs big man. These guys are dominating. Are you serious? I don't even know if these guys come off the bench in the 80s and 90s. Maybe. But they damn sure ain't no starters. Ain't no damn way. For one, they're undersized at center. For two, they're not physical enough to play power forward. For three, they couldn't play no small forward. They couldn't play that slash position that could handle the ball and what do you say? Could hit that mid-range shot. Oh man, they can hit the three, man. They can't hit the three in the 80s and 90s. You just can't do that, folks. Who is gonna let you shoot that? It will become the dumbest shot in the 80s and 90s because nobody is just gonna let you shoot that shot. So what happens is you'll start brick, and you'll see that it's the dumbest shot. These players today, they can't play defense. So a lot of times they're left open. A lot of times it's uncontested. I heard many people say, why are they playing so far off on them? Especially, you already know what they're going to do. Oh, man, he going to blow by, man. He going to blow by. It's an open lane. Again, in the 80s and 90s, you brought out your best defenders. Your best defenders were on that floor. So those offensive players who were great, they had to turn into good to great defenders. This is how it was. Just how it was. Sometimes you'll just be stuck with a team full of good defenders that really couldn't put up no great offense. But hell, you didn't want to get blown off the damn court. And some teams would have both. They would have good to great defenders. I mean, you didn't have to make the All-NBA team. And if you didn't make it, look at the guys who was on it. Look at the guys who were on the all-defensive team. So if you didn't make it, it wasn't like you wasn't a good defender. You just wasn't great. But you wasn't bad. You wasn't awful. You wasn't a liability. If you didn't make it and you started for your team. That's just the way it was. If Magic Johnson led the league in steals 2 times, he wasn't a liability on the perimeter. No. It was just guys greater than him, like Michael Cooper. Some of these, to me, this league is just like, it's just like a play around league where dudes just come to work and they just play around. And, they done got so pushed away from, reality as far as great NBA players. You got to look at these guys who come in the league and see who their idols were. It damn sure ain't Michael Jordan. So when I hear these guys talk about Michael Jordan and all these guys from the 80s and 90s, cut the ish. Right? Their idols is LeBron James and your Kevin Durant and these type of, guys who don't play no defense, super team build, these type of guys. Pretty sad.